Last week, Saturday, this young man talked to me at Emery Grove while I was invited to Alcalde's meeting. He asked me for a 5-minute interview, but I told him that I just couldn't do it because he will have to come to Santa Teresa for an interview, and more or less he will hear from you people. He will hear my side, just as how they have already heard Mr. Chuk's side. They go through the consent. As you can see here, they signed this. I have 2 other papers to show, but that 2 other paper is the same as this one. It says here, total of villagers in good standing, 204. Total number of villagers in good standing that participate, 180. Villagers provided consent that yes, 174. And then villagers that provided consent that says no, only 6.
Coming now, the money is here now. It's $200,000 US. That's the way you told us where that money gone. If that money spent, why you don't give us the report? That I want to know. I want to see the report, and I want to say this. I want to say this because every government change, chairman change, alcalde change. How about Mr. Pablo Miss? How about Miss Christina Cook? What they are?
And I will tell you, Mr. Salam, the money that was approved for this project, my friend, is not $200,000. Let me tell you.
That's the way you mentioned to us.
That's what you heard. But I will tell you, and the rest of the people will tell you, the amount of money that was earmarked for this project is $1.8 million, sir. Not $200,000. Already, when you tell something that is a fact and a truth, please tell the truth. Tell the fact. Take your notes when you are in meetings so that you do not misquote me or you do not say something that I did not say. I know what I said, Mr. Salam. The amount of money that was approved for this project is $1.8 million. It was approved to cover the cost of mapping 41 Maya villages, not just Santa Teresa. It was approved to cover the cost of developing a legislation to protect our rights as Maya people to our land. It was approved to cover the cost of capacity building, just like this, coming to meetings, making sure we are present in the communities, making sure we are helping the government also to understand what the CCJ is about. Okay? There is money in there for the government to also do their work, Mr. Salam, including coming to verify your forms. There is money right now. Mr. Chuk is waiting to sign a contract so that he can come and verify your forms, and we will pay for his transportation to come out here. There is money in there for a third-party inventory to be done, 90% of which has already been done with the Ministry of Natural Resources. There is money in there for the government to hire a surveyor to come and check what you have already opened. Not to redo it, but to come and check that it is technically sound, because they say our community field mappers are not experts.
This letter, when it was written, we are not involved as the village council members. We did not sit around table and look at if there is a problem arising in the community, so that we could have give the consent to the chairman, or yes, we have the quorum, it should be 4 out of the 7, to give, yes, there is an issue. Because you are not informed, the community members are not informed, which is that you are going against their consent. We should have sit down, write that same letter that is on the screen there, then it should be valid. So I'm surprised, because I'm the secretary of the village council. I am supposed to be the person writing that letter, and the chairman should just be sitting there and guiding and chairing the meeting. Am I correct, village council member?
All right. And to clarify, the previous alcalde, Ms. Christina Cook, I didn't select her. No few people select her.
Nobody.
We have meetings like this, right, with Alcalde's assembly, we call it, and we ask
at each new incoming alcaldes, we ask who should be the next person to be the spokesperson of the Toledo Alcalde Association. At that meeting, majority said that, okay, we already have Ms. Christina Cook, so, and she's doing a good job on being a spokesperson for the Toledo Alcalde Association, so she will continue to be the spokesperson. And that is how she has been selected among the alcaldes.
So I wanted to know, and I'm happy that the secretary of the village council cleared up that it is not the village council that sent this letter. It is the chairman on his own. And it is not the chairman on behalf of the village, it is the chairman on his own. And this is what I am going to report back. And this is what I will report to the Caribbean Court of Justice, if in fact this letter reaches that court. Because that needs to be told to the court. Now, that is what I want to say with regards to this letter. I am happy that the community has spoken. The media is here. I did not want to give an interview because directly you would hear Mr. Salam say, well, we didn't tell her to speak about this for us who elected her, right? I asked the Alcalde's Assembly. The decision was that we come to the village, we hear directly from the village, and once we've heard from the village, the media is here, one of them anyway, we can then report what did the village say, what is the real truth behind all of this. It's sad that Mr. Chub is not here because he's the only one that can tell us why he is writing this letter. But from what I can see, it is really to undermine the Toledo Alcaldes Association, to try to stop the mapping that is happening, which is very consistent with what this government is doing. They are trying to stop everything that we are trying to do to help the communities. They are trying to stop everything. And so this tells me that it's not different. That position that Mr. Chub is taking is not different from what the government is doing, from what the other organizations are doing. It's not different. The letter that was sent to us, it wasn't just sent to us. So please pay attention. It was sent to the Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, and you have heard that lady say a lot of things about Maya people on the radio, on the TV. Many of the things very untrue. You have heard that the letter was also sent to Ms. Nonette Royo of the Land Tenure Facility. Let me explain who that is. Ms. Nonette Royo is the executive director of the organization that is providing the funding for the mapping to take place. There is a reason why that letter is copied to her. It is kind of like what Mr. Salam was doing. They're not doing the right thing. Is it to threaten the continued support from that organization for the mapping? Yes, it is. That's their aim, to stop the help from coming. All right? They have also copied it to Mr. Greg Chok's office. And I will not be surprised, community, that this letter finds its way to the Caribbean Court of Justice. Mr. Chok will make sure it does. And he will use that as an example to further undermine, to further remove the credibility of the Toledo Alcaldes Association, because that is what they have been attacking. I have all the consent forms here. We have carefully documented what you have given to us. You have copies of it. I saw the alcalde is showing it. I have every consent form here because the government also, Mr. Chok also, says, I want to make sure it's not Christina Cook that is forcing these people to do this. Kind of like what Mr. Salam says. I want to make sure that it is not Pablo Miss. So you have to show me evidence that it is the people that make this decision. We don't have a problem with that. The people will show you. And you have placed your signatures on these forms. And the majority of you have said, yes, we want our boundaries to be clarified, including Mr. Mateo Salam. I have your form right here.
That's true.
Right, including. The process here is a process. The process here is a process of democracy. You make those decisions. I don't make those decisions for you. If the majority of your village had said, no, we don't want our boundaries to be clarified, we would not be here today, my friends.